A comprehensive plan to fix the nation's immigration issues has eluded our leaders in Washington for decades, leaving some states, as Martha Teichner explains, to step in with controversial results.
My heart is on this farm and the people that work on it.
David Register's family has been farming this land in Pearson, Florida, for more than a century. He grows ferns.
They take and mix all the different types of greenery into one bundle.
The kind florists use to fill out bouquets. In the summer, it can be triple-digit hot under the mesh protecting the plants. But Register's workers, most of them immigrants, he says, are legal and loyal. Sabino, his crew boss, has worked here for more than 40 years.
The difficulty comes when you're trying to recruit new people outside of that, and as people age out, trying to get younger people in here, it's pretty difficult.
What happens if you put out a help wanted sign?
Nobody really shows up.
Are there enough legal immigrants who have documentation of some kind to do the agriculture work in this state?
There's not at this time.
In Florida, agriculture is just one industry where the politics of immigration is meeting its labor shortage head-on, with consequences.
This is the strongest legislation against illegal immigration anywhere in the country.
Florida's governor and both houses of its legislature, Republican. Among the harshest of Florida's new laws, SB 1718.
A lot of these businesses that were employing illegal immigrants are now starting to think twice about it.
State Senator, Republican Blaise Ngolia was its sponsor.
We have a broken legal immigration system which is fostering the illegal immigrants coming over the border. So if we get a bunch of states together and we start cracking down on illegal immigrants in our states, maybe we will force the federal government to fix the legal immigration system.
Just some of the provisions of SB 1718, employers with 25 or more employees have to verify job applicants' immigration status against a federal database or risk $1,000 a day fines. Showing a false ID to get a job, a felony. Also a felony, driving anyone undocumented across state lines into Florida, although that provision has been put on hold by a federal judge.
The anti-immigrant rhetoric certainly created chaos amongst our communities, created a lot of fear.
Mariana Blanco is director of operations at the Guatemalan Maya Center in Lake Worth, Florida, which provides social services for migrant workers.
About 40% of our families left. Just to put it into perspective, in one day, one of our local elementary schools had 10 children that were withdrawn from their school.
Olga, Guatemalan, undocumented herself, helps run the Guatemalan Maya Center's food bank. And here's what the people who need the food are saying.
They say you can't work anymore. It's very hard, very sad.
Does it bother you that it seems Americans don't want you here?
Yeah, because we work for them.
What did you think when the state passed those laws? We really thought, well, it was racism, she says. Philippa Cruz makes 48 cents a bunch before taxes, cutting ferns for a grower who employs undocumented workers. She got her work permit only last month, but for 20 years she was undocumented too. Now, if an employer treats her badly, I have the opportunity to say no and go somewhere else. According to the Florida Department of Health, between 150 and 200,000 farm workers pick crops in Florida each year. At last count, nearly half of them were believed to be undocumented. With fewer and fewer legal farm workers and Florida's crackdown on illegal immigration underway, who's left to work in the fields? Isn't Florida cutting off its nose to spite its face? You need the labor, but you don't want the immigrants.
No, we didn't skip a beat. We still were able to produce the crops. We are showing people that you can actually have the rule of law, crack down on illegal immigration, and still have a booming economy.
I understand the idea that at a state level, you're going to politically go ahead and send a message to Washington. In the meantime, crops are going to rot, crops won't be planted, farmers will suffer.
John S. Forms is CEO of Sunripe Certified Brands, a giant multi-state tomato operation his family started in 1920. His view is a lot gloomier.
Its H2A are out of business.
Roughly 800 of his 1,200 employees are migrant workers in the U.S. on H2A visas, available for seasonal agriculture. But bringing them here, housing and feeding them adds significantly to the cost of a tomato.
Florida cannot continue to produce the food that it has historically produced with the labor that's available, either domestically or through the H2A program.
Last year, Florida had more than 89,000 H2A workers, the highest number in the nation, more than triple the figure in 2015. Year-round agriculture, such as ferns, has no such program, but just as big a need that the federal government still isn't addressing. And Florida's new anti-illegal immigration laws could exacerbate. They've only just begun to roll out.
Before long, if we keep going down this path, there won't be a tomato, there won't be a bell pepper, there won't be a cucumber, a grapefruit, or an orange that's grown in the United States because it'll all be imported.